No! What's up, guys? I was out taking Shiloh to the West Arvada Dog Park, and I was looking for a cool place to shoot this video, and I found this amazing backdrop. The mountains just look like Jurassic Park right now. I love the spring in Colorado, but it's starting to rain, dang it, and it's cold. So yeah, now I can't see on my glasses, but this is too pretty not to take advantage of. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is just some of the financial advantages of living in your RV. I wanted to point out some of the things I've been able to do by living in the RV and just kind of contrast that with some of the stresses that I've faced, because it's definitely not been easy, and I question it every day whether or not it's actually worth it. But here are some of the things that I've been able to do while staying in my RV. So just to give you an idea, I have made as little as $27,000 doing this. I've been 12 months in the RV at this point, and I just recently came into a much better job that gives me the opportunity to go just over $50,000, and it's obviously based on commissions and sales, so it will fluctuate on any given month. But the point is, that's way more cash flow than I've had in the past, and obviously that makes a big difference in the value in doing this as related to saving money, the ability to use that money for other projects and other things. So as an example, some of the things I've been able to do while living in my RV that on most months I just would back burner this kind of stuff, because you know, when you're not making that much, especially if you're sitting at that $30,000 mark, where in a big city like Denver, that's beyond poverty, especially if you're not in a multi-person living situation. So, you know, things that cost $100 to $200 a month are generally things that I put on the back burner. So as an example, I was able to pay off my iPhone recently. That was a $200 expense at T-Mobile. What else did I do? Coming out here, I got a different kind of job, and I kind of needed to change my wardrobe. In the past, and for several years, I've been shopping at Goodwill, and I still do that. I mean, if you can find good clothing at thrift stores, then I think it's wonderful to recycle and save some money. But I was able to purchase some new clothing, which was super necessary, especially in a sales job, and that cost me about $200 to $300. So again, one of those luxury expenses that if I didn't have the extra gap and the cash flow coming in, probably wouldn't have done that. What else? I was able to purchase about $150 worth of stuff for the RV when I moved it back to Denver. That includes some things like extra wheel locks and general maintenance stuff. My screen door was broken. I finally fixed that after like 4 months of not having a screen door that worked properly. So, you know, it's the little things, right? What else? My glasses are getting all rained on. I think food is a worthy thing to talk about. So, you know, something I've noticed from a lot of RV channels is the quality of life people have is very much dependent on their lifestyle. And you see everything on the internet, from people like vegan van buses, all to people eating fruit in the tropics, to guys rolling around in their vans in the mountains with a bunch of canned food, and RV doomsday preppers toting around MREs and like a bunch of just freeze-dried shit. And so something I think is valuable, having the extra cash flow, you can put a lot of extra money towards the food that you want to eat that'll keep you healthy while living, I don't want to say substandard, but like working through the stressors of being in an RV and like living differently and not having some of the comforts and amenities. I think it's really important to pay as much attention as you can to your health. For me, that's translated into the ability to buy a lot of fresh food, shop at nice places like Whole Foods. That's the kind of stuff that just gets kicked to the side when I'm on a tight budget and I don't have a lot of cash to spare. So I spend a lot of extra money on quality food and things that are going to keep me as healthy as possible. I also have 2 gym memberships. Now you might say, why would you do that? But the extra cash flows also afforded me some luxuries in that sense. So I have 2 gym memberships, one to Anytime Fitness and one to 24 Hour Fitness. The reason being is where I'm currently at and where I was out in Steamboat, Anytime Fitness was the best bet. They have phenomenal private bathrooms, and when you don't have your own bathroom, that's a really valuable asset. 24 Hour Fitness is more of a public sharing situation. That being said, they have way more things to work out with. They have pools, saunas, basketball gymnasiums. So between the two of them, I pay like $75 a month. In some big cities, even downtown Denver, you pay that much for one club. So I really have access to good gyms all over the country, and for the time being, I don't mind paying for both of them. The other thing I was able to do was increase my cell phone plan and take it from whatever it was up to a fully unlimited situation with T-Mobile. That's really important because one struggle I've had, especially trying to upload videos, is just the lack of internet. I mean, I chase down Starbucks like you wouldn't believe. So it has been such a blessing to have unlimited internet and to be able to afford it with no problem. And like I was saying before, paying off my phone, taking that several $100 and just wiping that part of it out, that reduced my cell phone bill from $125 down to just under $100. So, you know, all things considered, I'm not really paying a whole lot more than I was before, and I think that's one of my biggest, what am I trying to say? I think that's one of the most valuable things about staying as debt-free as possible. The less expenses you have going out, the less you have to work hard to maintain your life, and instead of paying bills, you're paying for things that increase the quality of your life. And that's how I want to direct my money. So I hope that gives you some ideas of some things, some practical things that you can do when living in your RV or a vehicle or a van or whatever the mobile situation is. You know, this all started for me as a financial pursuit, and it was born out of sheer desperation. I was just so sick and tired of paying rent and just forking out literally thousands of dollars so that I could sleep and have these comforts. And so, well, I'm not recommending that everybody just immediately give all your things away and go live in your car or whatever. I'll say that it's been one hell of a learning experience. I definitely have, I've learned what is really valuable to me. Something that I'm still battling with that I'm not sure is worth the trade-off is ultimately the stress factor. So I'm still dealing with a pretty large amount of stress camping in the city without a water hookup. It's starting to level out, it's starting to get more comfortable. I'm on my third month, and you know, I think familiarity and time does a lot in that situation, but I think a lot about the trade-off I've given in the way of stress and the benefits that I'm gaining. So the things that I do spend my money on and the way that I spend my time, it's critical that those things bring me satisfaction and the ability to relax, because for several months, especially in Steamboat, just wasn't the case. And I think that it's not worth it to not pay attention to those things. Even if you go back and watch a video I made about replacing my camper bed, even something like that, that was a $150 investment and 1 day's off worth of work. Cannot even tell you the life-changing difference that the investment in that bed made. So, you know, sleep is critical to our health. It's critical to our happiness, and this channel is all about setting yourself free and finding ways to break the norm and like break out of that shell that people say this is how you have to do things, this is how you have to work, this is how you have to live. I think it's bullshit. I don't think you have to do anything. I think that what you got to do is figure out what your priorities are, what you really, really want, and then support your life with that. So for me, what I really want more than anything in my life is to be free of stressors as much as possible. I know stress is going to come in life, but I want to live a life that is focused on living and not focused on stress and the things that I don't have. I also want to have as much freedom as possible, whether that's to be outside, shooting videos, hiking the mountains, playing with Shiloh, taking trips to visit people, exploring. I mean, there's just a million things. When I am left to myself, what I like to do is so all over the place, but very much focused on just being outside and kind of roaming and exploring. I love taking pictures and camping, and I just want to have the time to do that. Do you know, for all the corporate jobs I've had, the amount of long-term camping trips or adventures I've been able to take, like less than five times in my life. I've been able to break away for more than a long weekend and go do something phenomenal. Once I had to quit a job to go travel for a period of like four to 6 months. And, I quickly realized when you've got no money and no plan and no way to sustain and support yourself, that can bring a lot of anxieties. When you're trying to build a life of freedom, you have to think about, what does that freedom mean to me and how do I sustain it? Like, freedom for a short time is not freedom. That's just screwing off and taking some time off. What I'm after is a way to live where I'm sustained, that there's an income coming in, and I want to work in this life. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to not do things. I want to provide value back to the world, and in return, I want to be able to live freely and use that income and use those business opportunities to help other people and to just live a more fulfilled life. And I think that's what everyone's after. So I hope you guys enjoyed the mountains. It's been awesome talking to you. Peace.